You're live. All right. View on watch page. That's pretty ridiculous. I don't know if this is going to work. And you're live. All right. Oh, look at that. All right. So that has actually got audio on it. Sweetness. Sweetness town. Sweetness. Okay, we're getting close here. This is pretty cool that this is going to be working on YouTube with audio. That is pretty amazing. I wonder if I can switch the audio and if that will still work. All right, so let's see if the quality of that audio is phenomenally better. Let's do that. So, yeah. That's pretty ridiculous. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm just getting everything set up here if you're still watching. You're live. All right. Oh, look at that. All right. So that has actually got audio on it. That is pretty amazing. I want phenomenally better. Let's do that. So, yeah. That's pretty ridiculous. I don't know this. I'm just getting everything set up here if you're still watching. You're live. All right. Oh, look at that. All right. So that has actually got audio on it. That is pretty amazing. All right. So if you're joining me on YouTube, that is probably super interesting. We're just about to start up here on Periscope, and I'm going to see if I can use a... No, I'm not going to see if I can use the better microphone. We'll try that another time. And pull this out. All right, here we go. Is Facebook the best stock ever? There we go, everybody. Welcome to the broadcast today. I'm on YouTube. I think I'm on YouTube anyway, on the homepage of thebookerreport.com, but I'm not entirely sure that's working. And I'm guessing that Periscope's probably a much better way to go today. I'm so happy to see you here. Thanks for being here, friends. Lots of you are joining now. Welcome to the show today. I'm Rob Booker. I'm the publisher of the Booker Report, and some of you are joining us live on YouTube, and some of us, including me, are joining us live on YouTube, but I'm not sure that's going to work very well because the cameras aren't exactly the same. But this is just an experiment on YouTube, so don't get mad at me if this experiment fails on YouTube. And I don't want to hear how bad it was or whatever. What's the link for YouTube? You just go to thebookerreport.com, and actually it should be on that page. It should be just sitting on the home page, embedded in the home page right there. You should be able to watch it straight from the home page. I'm super pleased about that because eventually I will get that to work. And eventually the YouTube show will play right inside of the browser. And I gotta say, that's pretty magnificent, right? I'm pretty sure that it's not working very well today, however. All right, welcome to the Booker Report today. I am Rob Booker, and we're going to talk a little bit about Facebook, and I'm going to give you some fun facts about Facebook. We're going to discuss why Facebook may or may not be the world's greatest stock ever, of all time and forever, why Facebook may be the brand new Apple. And what I mean by that is the stock that no one can sell short and that is just a rocket ship. And we'll talk about why those things are and if those things are actually true. We'll talk about some fun facts about Facebook. I'll read those to you. And why don't we hop right into some of these fun facts about Facebook, because I am super excited for you to hear these. All right. Also, I want to do a shout out to our sponsor, Forest Park FX, which sponsors this Periscope broadcast, this YouTube live show. Hello. And Forest Park FX. If you're interested in trading the FX market, you should contact Forest Park FX to open a Forex account and get cashback rebates on every trade that you place. Go to www.forestparkfx.com. That's forestparkfx.com. And Forex trading carries significant risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Terms and conditions will apply. If you're watching us on YouTube, you'll notice there's a delay. That is just a fact of the matter. There's not a delay on Periscope, but there is a delay on YouTube. There was also a delay on Facebook, but we're going to try that out tomorrow, on Monday. Well, actually, we're going to try that out on Friday, actually. We're going to try that and see where that goes. All right, let's talk about Facebook. I think Facebook is really interesting because it has the potential to be the darling of Wall Street. If you've watched anything in the year 2016, you have seen technology stocks kind of get ripped, right? They just got ripped, not like ripped like that, like ripped like they got ripped apart. And that's not a good thing. And let me tell you something. Facebook avoided that to a significant degree. And I can't, for the life of me, I can't really understand why that is, other than in all the price of a stock is the collective bet that company has future earnings which are significant or not. And I think it's fascinating that Wall Street is just basically keeping Facebook above $100 a share, even above $106 a share, because they're under the impression that Facebook is going to continue to grow. And there's good reason for it. Listen to some of these statistics. There are 100 million videos, 100 million hours of video watched on Facebook each day. I personally watch 50 million of those hours. 500 million people use Facebook events each month. 1 billion people use Facebook groups. I didn't even know there were a billion people on planet Earth. 1.59 billion monthly active users. That is literally, that is a lot of people. That is a ton of people. Where else are you going to have that many people in one place that you can target with an ad? You can get that many people in one place, but you can't necessarily target an ad to those people. 968 million Facebook users log in every single day. 5 new profiles are created every second. So conceivably, people from outside the planetary system that we know are logging into Facebook. Facebook is most active on Thursdays and Fridays. I should have been Facebooking live today. There are 83 million fake profiles, and that's not even including your family that are a bunch of fake people, right? It's not even including them. You know, like Aunt Lulu, she's super fake. She's always so happy to see you, but she's just looking for the gin. She's like, oh, so happy to see you. Average time per visit is 20 minutes, unless you're me, in which case it's like an hour and 20 minutes. 300 million photos are uploaded daily. That's an outdated statistic. I bet it's 350 million photos are uploaded daily. And there are 20 million business pages on Facebook. That is pretty incredible. Now, why do I say all this stuff? Well, the reason I say this is that Facebook didn't get hit hard when the rest of the technology stocks dropped. And I think one of the reasons that Facebook didn't get hit very hard is because of these statistics. In a universe where products and services are declining in quality, and competitors are entering almost every market you can think of online and stealing readership and eyeballs away from other companies, Facebook is not losing to anyone. Facebook is still winning, and they're winning big. When Facebook was at 1.49 billion monthly active users last year, they had more monthly active users than WhatsApp, 500 million, Twitter, 284 million, and Instagram, 200 million combined. Now that they bought WhatsApp, they've crossed the 1 billion mark on WhatsApp. So WhatsApp and Facebook are essentially now the same thing, because chatting is the wave of the future, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Facebook makes a gross revenue of $5 to $6 billion per quarter. That is a lot of bones. That's a lot of bones. That's a pile of dollar bills. Most of that revenue, this is the stunning statistic, most of that revenue comes from mobile. I'm going to say that again. 75 to 78% of Facebook's revenue is generated from mobile devices. That is an astounding statistic, considering that just a few years ago, they hadn't gotten mobile right. Now, advertising as a collective industry is a $600 billion industry annually. $600 billion are spent on advertising around the world on an annual basis. That is an incredible statistic, although it is credible because I said it and I read it online, so it must be true. That is an amazing statistic. Facebook is only capturing, this is astounding, right? Facebook is capturing $20 billion in advertising revenue. And the pie is growing bigger, and Facebook's getting a bigger piece of that pie. Who's going to take that from Facebook? Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think you had any answers. There's nobody that's going to take it from Facebook. Twitter doesn't even know what Twitter is, let alone know what its users are. It's astounding. Hello, French boy. French boy just said hello. Hello, French boy. Voulez-vous manger avec moi ce soir? Qu'est-ce que vous faites ce weekend, French boy? Yes, I speak a little bit of French, but not very much. So sorry. Twitter will probably be bought by Verizon or by Rupert Murdoch's company. Now the question is, can Google overtake Facebook? And I'm going to bring this up in just a minute. Well, actually, I'll bring it up right now. Facebook can do two kinds of advertising really effectively: brand advertising and direct response advertising. Brand advertising is when Coca-Cola does an ad where a pimply-faced young boy hands a pimply-faced young girl, well, actually, it's always a beautiful little girl, he hands her a Coke. And he hands her a Coke, and by handing her a Coke, she falls in love with him. That's brand advertising, otherwise known as lying. Absolute lying. That's a giant form of advertising. It's still the most successful and largest piece of the pie. That's the largest piece of the advertising pie around the world. It's absolutely incredible because Facebook can do that in just super well with videos, with images, with fan pages, with engaging, just all kinds of material that they can push out to people on the platform. YouTube can do some of that, and that's part of Google. They can do part of that. That's absolutely a possibility. But Facebook is in your stream, and you're going to pass by advertisements automatically. YouTube, on the other hand, isn't part of a stream. It's a much different, they can't throw an ad at you in the middle of something without you just walking away completely. So although Google is super strong and they're well positioned in this environment, this is not a show about Google today. This is a show about Facebook. Facebook can also do direct response advertising. Those are ads like the app install ads, right? Install game of toilets or whatever, and fight the enemies or blah blah blah. And those app install ads are huge, but they also have direct response ads that are like, buy this product, click here, and then you go to a landing page where you buy the product. They also have direct response advertising. This is a great fab guy. They also have direct response advertising where you can go to a landing page and enter your email address or agree to take some other free offer. So they can do both kinds of advertising. And it's not long off where you're going to be able to buy stuff straight and directly on the Facebook platform. You're going to be able to order an Uber and all kinds of other services. It's coming, and it's coming really soon. And it's coming into their messenger applications and elsewhere. This isn't the only thing that makes Facebook so amazing. And I'm not just a Facebook fanboy. I'll talk about the negatives in a minute too. They have the largest audience in the world. There's no question they have the largest audience in one place in the world. They have more data on that audience than any other company. Just an astounding amount of data. In fact, they've partnered up with credit reporting agencies. So they actually, this sounds disgusting and horrible, but it's true. They actually know the kinds of stuff that you buy, and they know the kinds of stuff that you watch on TV. And because they have pixels, they follow you around on the internet. If you're logged into Facebook and you travel around the internet, websites have Facebook pixel codes embedded in them by choice. Marketers will put Facebook pixel codes on a website, and they're all over the web, and it's on like a giant percentage of the web. The porn sites, the video sites, Netflix, everywhere. Those pixels are everywhere. So Facebook knows where you've been. So they're building a profile of their user base combined with, it's an eyeball factory. It's absolutely, it's just an incredible, and so they know a lot about each of us. In fact, not only do they know a lot about each of us, they give marketers the ability to identify target audiences demographically in an amazing and significant way. For example, you can target people between the ages of 40 and 44 that are single, that work as an attorney, that have a certain amount of income, and that live within a certain exact number of zip codes around the country. And you can even target them by whether or not they recently were shopping for a car. That's how specific it gets. That's crazy specific. And think about how difficult that would be to do on television. You'd have to find a television show that only appealed to lawyers that lived in a certain zip code, that people, blah, 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 blah. It's impossible to do. It's impossible. You can't do it. No one else has, except for Google. Google's got this too. Google has an immense amount of information as well. So how does Facebook make money? They make money by charging people to run ads, and you only pay for those ads when someone engages with those advertisements. You only pay for what you get, and the better your advertisement does, the lower the price of your advertisement. That's crazy, right? But Facebook loves good advertisements because more people will click on them, and more people like them, and more people won't get mad about the advertisement, so they lower the price of those ads. Now, how do I know that? Well, you and I both know that because we've been on Facebook, but I've been running ads on Facebook for, 36 months or whatever. Not terribly successfully, but I've run ads on Facebook, and I'm going to do a whole bunch of it again in the near future. Now, why does Facebook exist? Well, Facebook exists in order to make money, right? And you and I are the product on Facebook, and you and I are the users. We are the product. We generate the content on Facebook, and we are the product that Facebook sells to advertisers. As disgusting as that sounds, that's absolutely the case, and it's unfortunately just the gosh to honest truth. You and I are the product, and Facebook doesn't necessarily care that we don't like it. But if they show us enough relevant information and they allow us to keep in touch with our friends and they make it easy, it's incredible because Facebook doesn't pay for its product. Altogether, this is an astounding truth. And there's no other company on planet Earth except maybe Google, except maybe Amazon, and except maybe Apple. Maybe those ones are as incredibly positioned for hypergrowth. Maybe also Tesla is equally positioned for hypergrowth for different reasons. And we'll do a show and a broadcast about all those different things. But right now it's time for a short word from our sponsor. I'll remind you that today's broadcast is sponsored by ForestParkFX.com. If you call Justin at Forest Park FX, he can help you find an FX broker that is right for you. And also from the Booker Report, that's me, I'm Rob Booker, and I publish the Booker Report, which is a daily stock pick, currency pick, and monthly newsletter about the financial markets, and it's on sale now. You can get more information at thebookerreport.com. It's nice to see you all here. High cash flow life. It's very nice to be with you. All right, so here's some interesting facts about Facebook as we return to our conversation. In 2008, a 23-year-old woman named Lauren Michaels created a group titled I Need Sex on Facebook. Within 10 minutes, she had 35 members of her group and soon attracted 100 members of that Facebook group, 50 of whom she eventually had sex with. That's insane and crazy, but that's a real story from Facebook. In January 2009, this is my favorite story about Facebook, an advertising campaign from Burger King titled Whopper Sacrifice rewarded Facebook users a free Whopper for deleting publicly 10 of their friends who would then receive a blunt message informing them of the decision and that the old friend was now getting a free hamburger for deleting them. I think that's hilarious. Several people have been murdered for unfriending other people on Facebook. That's terrible and disgusting, and I would never do that. I would never murder anyone for unfriending me. In fact, I can prove that. A lot of people have unfriended me. When this is a great one. Napster co-founder Sean Parker transitioned Facebook from a college project into a multinational actual company. Parker changed the site's name from thefacebook.com by acquiring the domain facebook.com for $200,000. And it was Parker who insisted that Facebook add its most popular feature. Well, one of its most popular features, which was uploading photos. Pretty crazy, right? Okay, now, actually, I said another story was my favorite story. This is my favorite story of all about Facebook. In response to the terse notices alerting mothers that they were violating Facebook's decency policy, Lactivists responded with a virtual nurse-in. 11,000 women posted photos of themselves breastfeeding and or updated their profiles to read, "Hey Facebook, breastfeeding is not obscene." The pro-breastfeeding group has attracted over 250,000 members. I couldn't find it on Facebook, so I don't know if it's still there, but I would join it. I mean, who's against that? I mean, you gotta eat, right? I mean, I go to a restaurant and I eat and nobody gets mad at me. All right. Why do I think that Facebook is poised for further growth? I think all of the reasons I said before. They have a giant audience, they have demographic information about that audience, and they have the data right at your fingertips if you're a marketer. Even if the venture capital dries up and venture capital-backed companies can no longer afford ads to have you install another app that will show you a pile of poo if the weather outside is below 30 degrees, even if that happens, Facebook has still got a giant opportunity that's expanding every day in brand advertising. But if Facebook has problems with, I don't know, gender discrimination or any other kind of discrimination, or if they have a problem with privacy, or if they hit major and significant additional roadblocks in China, which they already have, if any of those things happen, then you could see Facebook drop back to, other levels or whatever. And in fact, despite everything that I've said so far, Facebook has a market cap of $345 billion. That's crazy. That's more than Procter & Gamble. That's more than IBM. That's more than ExxonMobil, for example. That's crazy. That's insane. They have a price to earnings ratio of 82. That's kind of high. Historically, any price to earnings ratio over 20 is kind of high. So I need Facebook to drop back before I'm interested. And what do we have? We have a great environment right now. We have a worldwide sort of economic slowdown right now that we can take advantage of. Hopefully, some of these bad worries will filter through to Facebook in their next earnings report. And we could get in on maybe $70 a share, or maybe we get it at $45 a share. 45 is actually the 2014 missed yearly pivot on Facebook. A lot of people don't think that's possible for it to be hit. However, I think that's actually possible. That would require Facebook to fall a significant amount, but it could happen. That could happen in a major economic whatever. I mean, that happened to Apple. It's happened to companies that people thought were absolutely impervious to negativity. But I'm not a buyer on Facebook at these levels that we're at right now. It's just too expensive, especially in the current environment where venture funding is pulling back, so Facebook can have fewer customers that are venture-backed companies that are just basically farting money. That's just not going to be around as much anymore. So that's not around. And just a general malaise and feeling of worry inside the financial markets. Tech companies are going to be hit harder than, say, companies that produce consumer staples like Procter & Gamble. So how do you short Facebook before you buy it? Well, I'm looking at a chart, for example, that shows Facebook trading at $106, $107 a share right now. If Facebook gets to something like 118 or 120, it's a screaming sell. There's no justification. There's no justification for a price that high. Facebook would have to have spectacular earnings for like the next 7 quarters with no drawback in order for that to happen. So I personally would love to see Facebook jump up a bit, and then I would love to sell it. And that's dangerous, and some people might disagree. But there's no question that in the meantime, while we wait for it to drop back at a good price, there's no reason why we wouldn't sell a little bit of it. You might buy a put, but I don't like options. Options are good for maybe you, but they've always seemed like gambling to me. All right, So that's my little conversation about Facebook. Those are my ideas behind Facebook. Tomorrow's Booker Report podcast episode and radio show feature this same conversation in a longer format episode. And then tomorrow, I think we're going to talk about the currency market. We haven't talked about it for a while. I want to give some lessons and stories from my experiences trading the currency market. We haven't talked about it for a while, why I like the currency market, why I think it's a absolutely wonderful place to day trade and position trade. Some people are a little bit afraid of it, but there's no reason to be afraid of the currency market. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. I'm so happy to see you here. Please share the broadcast with your friends and neighbors. Post it on Twitter or share it on Facebook or whatever. For those of you that are members of the Booker Report as insiders, I didn't do any webinars this week because I take 1 week off every month. So I don't burn out and I don't tell you all to go F yourselves. I take some time off because otherwise I just burn out. And it just gets to be a repetitive conversation where I'm saying the same thing every day over and over and over again. And that's not good for you and it's not good for me. And frankly, you can take care of business on your own, but I miss seeing you, and we'll be there all next week and for the first 3 weeks of March. Well, we'll probably be there for the first week of March, the second week in March. Then I'm taking my kids to Hawaii the third week in March, and then I'll come back and do a week. But I'll take that whole third week of March off. I want to say something that none of you believe, and I don't care if you believe it or not, but I honestly, truly care about each of you. And I want you to have as much success as possible. And this whole game of trading isn't easy. It's not a simple thing to do, and many people make horrific mistakes in 1 second that take away their whole account. And I want to remind you that there's nothing more important, no matter what else I've said, than protecting the value of your account, taking small trades so you don't get into trouble if you make a mistake, and doing what's easy, and compounding small wins and small gains over time. All the press and the notoriety goes to people that are getting rich quick, but we, around these parts, we make great trades. We take great trades. We have a lot of success, but we don't need to brag about it, and we just need to compound our gains over and over again. Next week also we'll talk about robots. Forgot to say that. I can't wait to talk to you about robots. One of my accounts is fully robotic now, and I'm very happy about that. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow on Friday, and that's actually Monday's show, but we'll record it tomorrow together. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.